at it again, and we have one with Ben Shapiro, the undefeated debater. What's his streak right now? 150-0? It's got to be something ridiculous, right? I have yet to check out a clip where he loses a debate or a discussion of any sort. And I've even asked you guys, and no, nobody has been able to come up with any type of clips. And you guys know a lot better than I do. You know, I haven't been on this journey for very, very long. So, yeah. With that being said, let's dive in.
So let's say you own a pencil factory. I'm a worker in that pencil factory. You can have all the machinery, you can buy all the raw materials you want, but without me, and presumably many others like me, to assemble the pencils, all you would have is a pile of wood, yellow paint, graphite, rubber, and aluminum.
Okay.
That would be worth, and that is worth less than the pencil when you try and sell it. And yet, all of that value added by labor, apart from the wages that you give me, which if we're being honest, there is a major power imbalance in our ability to negotiate that.
If all that putting the pencil together requires is basic use of your prefrontal cortex, then yes, your labor is alienable at lower rates than if you are a doctor. That's not the fault of the person who owns the machinery.
But
also a great point about this is he's seeing it from one perspective. Oh, if you have a factory and no workers, then you're just out of luck because you have all of these raw materials and nobody to put them together. Well, let's flip that. If he hadn't started the business, the workers don't make any type of money. And also, when he touched on the wage thing, because this has come up several times in videos, and people forget that you don't have to work for anyone. You can choose who you work for. He doesn't have to go to the pencil factory and make number 2 pencils. He can go work for a pen factory. He could go work for a car factory. Go work for Elon if he wanted to. So that's the thing when it comes to the wage. You have a choice. It's your choice. You can decide, hey, do I want to get paid this $15 an hour to work here? Or do I want to go try to find a higher paying job?
That's not the fault of the person who owns the machinery.
But if you didn't have workers like me and your pencil factory and you were just one man.
But I have millions of people who are willing to do that voluntarily for me.
If you're just one person trying to assemble pencils, you're not going to get very far. You need workers. Capital needs labor infinitely more than labor needs capital. That's why you have worker cooperatives where the workers are the ones...
I fundamentally disagree on the distinction between capital and labor. Capital is just a term for money. If you're talking about money, money does not grow from the ground. Money only has value because it was traded for labor at one point or the products of labor. So if I take my money and I buy machinery, I have invested my labor in doing that because I didn't get the money from nowhere. Even if I got it from my parents didn't get the money from nowhere. The people who built the machines required me to trade something of value to them in order for me to obtain the machines. The people who invented the machines required people to pay them in order to get the patent to that machine so they could build the machine. The problem that I'm seeing in what you're saying is you have still failed. If what you're talking about is a system of voluntarism, you still have not named any area in which we disagree, and yet you're telling me that you're a socialist and I'm a free marketer. So one of us has got this wildly wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's not me.
The differentiation I draw, and I'm not alone in this, I'm not one person trying to redefine anything. The differentiation I and many others like me draw between socialism and capitalism is that under capitalism, when you as the owner of the factory, you give me a wage. The wage could be $7.25, it could be $15, it could be whatever an hour. Right? But you give me a wage. All the additional profit above made from selling the pencils or whatever good you produce above what is reinvested into the company ultimately goes to you or the investors, those who own shares in the means of production.
Right.
Under socialism, those people are the workers, and the example I give, again, is cooperative enterprise.
No, those are the people who are investing the risk. So if they carry the risk, then they get the benefit.
Bang. There you go. Why would I want to share the profits with you if I'm taking on all the risk? If something goes wrong in this pencil factory, it's coming back on me. If somebody gets hurt in this pencil factory due to negligence or anything, that comes back on me. That doesn't fall on the workers. So why would I be paying you for taking no risk? All right, well, fine. Let's all take the risk. Then you could take, then you could get a cut of the profits. If this factory happens to fall behind on production and not pulling in as much money, so we have to, so we have to pay out of our own pockets to keep the lights on and to keep the machinery moving. Well, that's coming out of your personal pockets. Can you afford that? You know what I mean? So this whole I'm a worker and I deserve this. No, you don't. You have a choice. That is why you have a choice, right? Do y'all agree? Let me know in the comment section.
The owner of the factory carries the risk, therefore he gets the benefit. The workers in the company you mentioned, if that company were to go bankrupt, they would carry the risk as well as the benefit. If the company goes bankrupt and this guy has to pay off all of his debts, the worker may lose his job, but he's not the one who's going to incur the debt of having gone bankrupt. If you incur risk, then you're the one who pays the downside. The worker does not pay the downside. Okay, it is the investor who pays the downside, who invested in all the machinery, who sunk millions of dollars into making your labor productive. Because guess what? Your labor is without that machinery. Gunk. Nothing. You don't have a pencil to put together. You don't got the wood. You don't got the paint. You don't got the rubber. You don't got the metal. You got nothing. Right? You're sitting there, standing outside, twiddling your thumbs. It required somebody to invest. Who do you think
With making no money. Zero.
put more in? The guy who spent millions of dollars buying all the machinery, leasing the place, making sure there was a management structure, doing the LLC formation, making sure all the tax code was in compliance, or you standing outside because you can stick a piece of graphite into a piece of wood. Now we're done.
Hey, Ben Shapiro is undefeated. Absolutely undefeated. He perfectly ended that discussion there. The company owner has way more responsibility and has taken way more risk than the worker. I mean, he listed off everything. The company owner had to organize everything. And not only did he have to organize everything, so when the workers came in, everything was just smooth and easy to do. I feel like you have to have a system that's easily repeatable, right? Because if it's overly complicated, it's going to take too long to train folks in how to do it. That's not what you want. Time is money. So they have to come up with a system that's easily repeatable, very simple to understand, in the whole nine, management structure, leases, all that stuff, making sure the raw materials are coming in when they need to come in and getting ordered when they need to be ordered, all that good stuff. Making sure, like he said, tax codes, all of that are in place, and the worker just comes in, does his job, and goes home. If the place falls apart and, there's a bunch of debt, like Ben Shapiro said, it's not on the worker. The worker lost their job, but not only does the owner lose their job, but they lost their money. And depending on how they got the money, they took out a loan from their house, leveraged their home to get that money, then, well, might be in some trouble there too. Worker just goes back home with no job, which sucks, of course, but I'll take that over what the owner would have to deal with. I'm just saying. But of course, it seems now that everybody wants the world to owe them something. Hey, since I'm working here, I deserve all the profits too. Okay, well, take all the risk. If somebody gets hurt, that's coming out of your pocket. We're taking that out of your bank account. If we have to liquidate your assets, then that's what we're going to do in order to make sure that cost is covered. Are you willing to sign on the dotted line to say that you will do that? Well, that's not my... Oh. Anyway, man, shout out to Ben Shapiro, of course. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. It's totally free. It's free now. All right? Hit that subscribe button. Click it. Peace and love. I'm out.